Oh man, so CNBC have just written a bit of a hit piece on Coin, that's Coinbase, and Coinbase opened down today, but have since started to recover and they're sitting at about 1% up as I'm recording this video. Let's take a look at the piece that CNBC put out. So Coinbase slammed for what users say is terrible customer service. CNBC interviewed Coinbase users across the country and found thousands of customer complaints. The interviews and complaints revealed a pattern of account takeovers, that don't sound good, where users see money suddenly vanish, really? Followed by poor customer service from the company. Coinbase's customer service has been primarily via email, and many customers say it's too hard to reach. Former employees say the company's customer service practices shifted over time, with representatives struggling to keep up with demand. Oh man. CNBC, what you doing, man? For Tanya Vidovich, it was a moment of panic. She'd received a series of alerts about someone changing access to her cryptocurrency account, and she realized as she stared at her computer screen that nearly all of 168k in holdings was gone, vanished before her eyes. She was stunned. Okay, story time here, CNBC. I looked into Coinbase and it seemed like it was the one everybody used. I trusted it. I signed onto the crypto and I said, it's gone. The Vidovich said they tried to contact Coinbase, but they couldn't get anybody on the phone. Interviews with Coinbase customers around the country and a review of thousands of complaints reveal a pattern of account takeovers where users see money suddenly vanish from their account, followed by poor customer service. Left users feeling hanging and angry. Making the issues even worse, cryptocurrency transactions cannot be reversed, according to the FBI. Experts say once criminals access an account, funds can be drained in minutes. Coinbase, yeah, but see, this is the difference, right? So we saw the biggest hack ever, 600 million on the Polygon network, but nobody wants to talk about how it's easy to move funds from an address to an address, but it's not easy to withdraw. So what happened with all that 600 million? We made a video on this as well. It was all returned back to the Poly network. Do you really think that was a good faith exercise that he gave it back? No, because there's no way to get massive amounts out without being tracked. Because as soon as you take it out of a wallet, authorities can be there waiting for it. So I understand what people are saying. People can get hacked and the coins can move address, but then it's actually, people can't actually then take that out to go and purchase something with all their stolen funds. So unless they can purchase with the currency itself, which is starting to pick up, then they're struggling to get that out. And as soon as they make a purchase, that's another reason they can transact and find them. So if, for example, the thief wanted to go buy a Tesla with it, at that point, they'd have to share their details to buy the Tesla, in which case you get traced by the authorities at that point. So, yeah, interesting. Let's see here. Experts say once criminals access their account, funds can be drained in minutes. That's true. If they access the Coinbase account, they can drain the funds like anything else. If they access a JP Morgan or Halifax bank account or HSBC bank account, they can drain that too. Coinbase, which went public in April, has a market cap of 65 billion, more than 68 million users, 100 countries, more than 2,100 full-time employees, 223 billion held in assets, according to the company. Hopefully, Coinbase going public and having its direct listing is going to be viewed as a kind of landmark moment for the crypto space. Armstrong said, yes, we heard this. People no longer need to be scared of it like in the early days. Yes, but we still have a long way to go. People are still scared. And hopefully, the access of things like PayPal into the market is going to help. I know for the diehard enthusiasts who say, no keys, not your Bitcoin, that's great for us who are experiencing Bitcoin, who feel a bit more confident buying on the exchanges. But for somebody who just wants to dabble with a little bit of their money, why can they not just buy on PayPal and get started and then graduate to a more to their own keys and putting it on cold storage and all these things as and when they want to? There's nothing wrong with dabbling with a little bit on PayPal or Robinhood where you don't actually have the keys and it tracks it. And that's why these ETFs are going to be so important when they're finally approved. We made a video on how close we're getting to that with Gary Gensler saying a Bitcoin futures ETF can be agreed soon. While the cryptocurrency exchange company has grown rapidly, complaints have continued to rise. Since 2016, Coinbase users have filed more than 11,000 complaints. So it'll be interesting to understand how many of those 11,000, how that 11,000 skews from 2016 to now. Was it mainly preloaded in the early days when they were achieving phenomenal growth and didn't have maybe as much funds to address some of these concerns? Or is it a steady increase and it's still going on now? Former employees told CNBC the company's customer service practices shifted over time, with representatives struggling to keep up with demand. So this is the Vidoviches. How do I pronounce that? Well, anyway, they lost a bunch of money. He logged in and it wasn't there. I'm really baffled, he said. It just seems to me that Coinbase did absolutely zero research and just said, hey, yeah, sorry. Okay. There is no credible or supportable evidence that the compromise of your login credentials was the fault of Coinbase, the message said. As a result, Coinbase is unable to reimburse you for your alleged losses. And by the way, this is no different for banks, right? If you're found to have negligently given away your login details to somebody and they've drained your bank account, your bank's not going to refund you. If you've been hacked and it's their mistake and they've gone into your system, then they'll reimburse you. And I assume it's no different here in crypto. If it was Coinbase's mistake, it doesn't make sense for the sake of 168k to not reimburse them and fix the issue. Eventually, the company sent a $200 credit telling Ben, your Coinbase experience and your wait for a response to your formal complaint was not up to our standards. Okay, but this is not to reimburse for what happened. They're giving the $200 credit because they said the wait for the response was not good enough, which is fair enough. But don't, assume that they're saying, oh, we're only going to reimburse you 200 of the 168k. They're not reimbursing that. Okay, experts say SIM swapping, where fraudsters seize control of a victim's phone number and SIM card through their phone company, is to blame for many of the cryptocurrency thefts. The problem with SIM swapping and cryptocurrencies is the moment you lose access to your cell phone, professional hackers will steal all your money in less than 30 minutes. And this is an important point, guys. A lot of people talk about two-factor authentication. If all your authentication is coming through your phone, then it's pointless, right? Because if they're in your phone and they've got all the other apps in your phone which aren't password secured and they all have the same password maybe, then they can they can go through your two-factor authentication. You can have it done with your phone, your email, another app. It doesn't matter. They can go through all three of those apps, authenticate, and drain your accounts in 30 minutes. So, very good point there. Silva, whose firm represents the Vidoviches, said the top complaints from potential clients are getting locked out, platform account, and SIM swaps. Okay, so that's what's happening. Many people are getting locked out and SIM swaps. Most people contact me would tell you it's poor customer service. They're being almost victimized twice because they themselves have almost no ability to contact Coinbase and deal with them directly. They're forced to retain professionals. And this is going to be part of the challenge, right? Because Coinbase are trying to be a fintech. Now, your traditional finance companies, your Schwabs, your IBs, your JPMs, they're going to have a bunch of customer service reps to help you out with your banking. But if you go to Facebook on the tech side, they won't, right? You get locked out of Facebook account or your ad account gets banned. Have you gone through that pain? You're not getting through to anybody. And Coinbase really needs to find their position on this left-right skew between traditional tech. And my answer is they've got to be somewhere in the middle. They've got to be reachable because people are going to panic, especially when they're new to crypto. But I understand why they wouldn't have, the support base that, say, a JPM would have with a whole bunch of human touch points. These exchanges have to invest in security if they want to take it seriously, just like the banks have done and have learned the hard way. Account takeovers are on law enforcement's radar. When the attacker withdraws those funds from the exchange, that's not a transaction that you can take back. Yes, that's correct. It's obviously a huge impact on the victims, which is incredibly difficult for them. After a review of Coinbase's complaints, the Better Business Bureau in March determined the company has a pattern of complaints from customers who state they are locked out of their accounts. The organization has received 1,100 complaints in the past 3 years. Look at that. So they've received 1,100, the BBB, in 3 years. BBB said it sent a letter to Coinbase to address the concerns. The group has not heard a response. Fine. Some customers lost funds, turned to social media to help. Members of a 941 Facebook group called Coinbase Corruption Scandal Awareness Group update the page. Okay. As the company has scaled, let's see what they say about the company here. As the company has scaled into its massive size, customer service practices have changed, former Coinbase employees told CNBC. In Coinbase's early years, employees spoke with customers through a live help chat. So did Facebook in the early days, but then that didn't get far. Jason Rose, who worked part-time in customer service at Coinbase, said many customers ask for reassurance about cryptocurrency. They need that touch of somebody being there while they're going through this complex transaction. This is what we just spoke about. They've got to get that balance. I mean, maybe this gentleman saying every single touch point should be a human, but there's a balance. Maybe not quite Facebook, maybe not quite JP Morgan or Chase, just kind of getting it in the middle and having enough contact time without increasing all your OPEX. When Rose worked at Coinbase, he said live chat acted as a sort of release valve for complaints, particularly helpful in moments of crypto volatility. Yes. So there you go, guys. I think, look, that was quite an, it's not even finished. That's quite an in-depth piece by CNBC. I'll finish reading that off. But in essence, it's a bit of a hit piece, and I'm not sure what they've got against Coinbase. We know Coinbase had a much anticipated IPO. A lot of people flocked to it and got burnt on the way down, including myself. I've averaged down. I've got a good size position now, which I'm happy with. I'm still bullish on Coinbase. I mean, the earnings were phenomenal. The growth this company's experience is phenomenal. Crypto has rebounded really nicely and is pushing on. And I don't see a place where Coinbase doesn't do well. They're one of the most intuitive platforms to use. They're increasing the number of coin pairs they're offering. Volume. It's an easy platform for somebody who, as a first time into crypto. Coinbase is the only real exchange where you own your keys, which is super as easy to use as it is. You look at Binance, you look at some of the others, they're a bit more intimidating, and I use all of them, but they're a bit more intimidating than a Coinbase. So yeah, a bit of a hit piece by CNBC. There's no particularly new information here. These are a bunch of people that have lost their accounts over the last kind of 4 to 5 years, but CNBC have decided to make a piece now. Look, you can do that piece into any company. You can go and do that in JP Morgan right now. You can go make a piece about this on Netflix, people getting hacked on Netflix, Amazon. So, I mean, this comes with the territory. But yeah, you want to see Coinbase address it as long as they've got the processes and procedures in place. Again, we've spoken about this before. Regulation will be welcomed by those with a long-term view on crypto. I know some people say, oh, it's going to ruin crypto and spoil it for all of us and China's going to get ahead. No, we need a good amount of regulation, not over the board, not just bureaucracy for the sake of bureaucracy, but having it in place so that it's transparent, it's easy for people to use. There are channels where people know what they can reimburse if they lose their money. They know what these channels are, what to do, what the support process is. If we can get those things in place over the next couple of years, this will really help us climb higher in our objectives for crypto. So there you have it, guys, an update on Coinbase. We'll see you in the next one.